Hey everyone, thank you for joining us for today's episode of Real Estate Disruptors. Today we have Antonio Edwards with House Flipper Academy, and he's flown in from Orlando to share how he went from driving trucks, struggling truck driver, to Rockstar investor. If this is your first time tuning in, I am Steve Trang, broker and owner of Stunning Homes Realty, founder of the Offer Fast Homes app, the only MLS for off-market wholesale properties, and I'm on a mission to create 100 millionaires, so if you want to join us in that mission, please connect on Instagram. If you're excited for today's show, please give me a wave, give me a thumbs up. And as a friendly reminder, I don't charge a dime for this show. I don't make any money doing this. So here's all I ask. This is what it costs for you to listen to this show. If you get value today, please tell a friend. You can share this episode right now, tag a friend below, or tell them your best takeaway from the show later on. That way we can all grow together. And I keep getting requests for t-shirts. And so for me to be able to sell t-shirts on YouTube, I need to get 10,000 subscribers. I'm at 7,000. So if you guys want to buy shirts from YouTube, I need you guys to subscribe. I'm looking at you guys. I can see it. And don't forget, this is a live show, so please post your questions for Antonio to answer. You ready?
I'm always ready, Steve.
All right, awesome. So first question, simple question, is what got you into real estate?
First and foremost, I'd like to, thank you for the invite for the podcast today, man. Yeah. And I mean, you definitely been killing it with some other guests on your show. Put out great content, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. What was the question again?
What got you into real estate?
What got me in real estate? We were just talking about this prior to us, going live here. But I used to be in the music business, right?
Yeah.
I was in the music business from basically like my sophomore, junior year in high school up until like 25, 26 years old.
That's a pretty early start.
Yeah. So music is like that's like my passion.
Yeah.
I love music. It's just it's therapeutic for me. And one of the guys, before I start there, actually, my mom at 22 years old, my mom gave me the book Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Okay.
But what was so intriguing about that, she never even read the book. Somebody gave it to her. She had it on her dresser, and just like randomly, she's like, "Here, son, something on my heart told me to give you this book."
Yeah.
And I never read the book. I never read any book cover to cover, Steve. Like,
really?
Not one book. I hated books in school. I despise reading books. I'm not a good reader. Like, still to this day, I read slow. Yeah. So if I can do it, you can do it too, by the way. But I happened to pick up the book, and like I started reading a few pages because that title enticed me to like at least start the book. And I was driving trucks, making $6.50 an hour with another. It was basically me and another partner. Like, we'll take turns delivering copy machines. He'll drive.
At 22, you were making $6.50 an hour.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Yeah, I was baller, baby. Baller, man. Yeah, so the time he was driving the truck, I'd be in the passenger seat, and I'd be reading his book. And I'm like, dang. And it was like, just opened me up to, like, real estate.
Yeah.
So from there, the upsell,
Mm-hmm.
I went to his boot camp.
Yeah.
And I thought Robert Kiyosaki was going to be there speaking, so I was all amped up, and I wanted to meet him and thank him from that. Like, hey, I read your book, and it gave me the aha moment for real estate. And obviously, he had somebody speaking there, and in place of him, and they got me for a 5K package, and that opened me up to wholesale in real estate.
Yep.
Okay, and I didn't do any deals from that coaching, but it still got me in the right path of what I wanted, what I knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy how like timing is everything. So I'm in Virginia where I was living at the time. I saw this guy with a We Buy Houses truck in my neighborhood, right? If it wasn't for me reading that book, opening up to like the wholesale and going to that boot camp, I probably would have never seen that truck.
Yeah.
So I saw the truck, I flagged him down, stopped him, and guess what he was doing prior to real estate?
Driving trucks?
Music.
Okay.
He did 50 Cent, right?
Mm-hmm.
He produced the 50 Cent first singles called Wankster. Most
Really?
people would probably know that. That was one of his, other than like In the Club, that was one of his other big first singles.
Yeah.
He produced that track.
Wow.
So from there, we just mashed, man. You know what I mean? And I felt like I connect with him, and I was like, hey, man, I'm looking to buy houses. I was trying to go off a script, but I learned it from Kiyosaki, and he gave me a card. He's like, hey, man, I'm looking to buy like a few more houses this month, close in 2 weeks. And I was like, wow, this dude sounds serious, you know? And I called him like the next day or two, and we met at Starbucks. And we just chopped it off, and like after an hour there, he was like, man, you know what? I really like you, man. You really remind me of myself. I remember, he was in the game 7 years. Like 7 years ago, man, I didn't know nothing about real estate. I wish I had me. He said, I'm gonna take you under my wing. And then from there, I put up, my first 100 bandit signs, which I kind of like leading. I was going off his coaching, and my first deal came it was a crack house. My first deal was a crack house.
Where was this?
In Virginia.
Okay.
I was living Chesapeake, Virginia. That's where the house was. 721 Potter Road, Chesapeake, Virginia. I'll never forget that.
Yeah. Don't forget the first one.
Yeah. So we're going to this house. It's 5 brothers, 1 sober heir, 4 crackheads. The 4 crackheads are living in the property. And I don't know shit about real estate, like nothing. So I'm going into this property with my mentor, and we're meeting that sober heir there. And I'm just walking into this house. I'm just like who would buy this? Like, who buys it? Like it's like literally no lights. They're like all slumped in the house, man.
Yeah.
Like straight crack house. And I remember my mentor. He just was walking through. It smelled like mildew, mold. It was messed up in there. He just like, I smell money in here. And I'm looking at him like, I don't know, like, and I'm just like all ears, and I'm just like just analyzing like how he talked to the seller, and it was very strategic. And I remember when we got near the negotiation, he was like watch this. So he went to the worst part. This is a tip, by the way. He went to the worst part of the property. It was real mildewy. It was a little leak, little hole in the ceiling. Looked up. Because he asked the seller how much was he asking again. I believe it was like, I could be off a little bit. It's been 10 years, but like 65, 70K, give or take. And he looked up, and he walked to the worst part, looked up, and he's like, how much are you asking for the property again? So he stood at the worst part of the house to negotiate. Yeah. And the seller was like, well, I mean, I 65, 70, but I'll take 60. Because I don't know if it's like a psyche thing. I still use that trick today, and it works.
It's effective.
And we got the property locked up for 48.5. Actually, no, 48K. As soon as we went to, because I rode with him in his truck, we bought his truck. As soon as we got in his truck, we had the property locked up. He called a buyer for 60,500. 3 hours later, boom. He was like, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. And that was my first deal for 12,500, man.
Okay, so that was 10 years ago.
August 2009.
All right, and then what was your journey from there?
So my first year, that's all I needed. I mean, I come from the music business. To me, the music business is a more hustle than this real estate thing. The music business is like, that's a no joke game, man. Yeah. It's like you up 14, 15 hours producing music. You're traveling here, you're going here, and. So I was like, damn, all I got to do is like get a property on the contract and just flip this piece of paper and I can make some money. Like, to me, that was like out of thin air.
Right. So I making money. You're creating it.
It's just creating, off the specialized knowledge, just off of one investing strategy, just wholesaling. Yeah. And I was like, man, I can do this over and over again. Right. And my goal was to do music and do this little wholesale thing on the side, but I just loved it. I was like, wow, like I started doing it full time.
I mean, how can you be addicted?
So my second deal was a rehab. Yeah. And somebody offered me $5K for it, right, as a wholesaler. Then I was like, no, I want to go into rehab. I'm gonna make $40K. Boom, boom, boom. 9 months later, I made $3K. I could have made $5K on it. Yeah. So in the meantime, I was wholesaling during that 9 months of that rehab, and I did 26 of those my first year.
Wow, that's really good.
My first 6 months, I made my first $100K, Steve, net in my bank. I didn't know how to act. I was like, man, you don't understand. Like, where I come from, man, like that was a big deal for me.
So you're at $650 an hour.
$650 an hour.
And then 6 months later, cleared $100K.
Well, I quit my job at age 24 to do music. Okay. I should have said that. I quit my job at age 24 to do music. That sucked. That didn't work well. I had some roommates in this house I was living in. My house went to foreclosure. Went back home to my mom and dad. Okay. Right before my first deal.
Gotcha.
Right before, like a month or two before my first deal, I went back home to my mom and dad at age 26.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And then from there, seminar, meeting this guy. And were you partnered with him, or you were just doing your own after that deal?
Yeah. So I was actually wholesaling him some deals because he was a buyer.
Yes, he was.
He didn't buy that first one, but he bought like my third or fourth one, give or take. And I did some JV, that first rehab I told you about. We went in together. He actually funded the deal, and he had me like manage the property, which that was like a whole nother story that's a whole nother story for another day.
Yeah.
Like me managing it on my second deal ever. While he's in he was in Minnesota with his fiance at the time, and I'm trying to manage a rehab.
Right.
I only did one deal prior to that. Like it took 9 months, man.
We all learn.
Yeah.
We all learn in different ways.
Yeah, but the learning experience was priceless, though.
Yeah,
I can't say that. I learned a lot. And one thing I did learn was how to analyze and like know my repairs to property. So when I did my other wholesales, I quickly knew how to like, okay, this property needs about 30, 35K. This needs about 20K.
You're a little better at estimating repairs because we see some of those come through.
Oh my, you see them, Steve. Like,
just 20,000 is like, no, you need to tear this place apart.
Right. I always say, here's a rule of thumb too, and don't if people watching this, if you're like new, just starting up, don't be offensive, but like, if you think a property is 10K repairs, I'll at least double that.
Yeah.
Like just double it.
Right.
Just do it. Don't be afraid. Like, to tell your buyers 20K. If you think it's 20K, tell them it's 40K.
Right.
I mean, that's just a rule of thumb for me. Like, because these emails I got coming in from wholesalers, man, they're like, it's only like 12,000. You know, it's a 2,000 square feet property.
Yeah.
It's 12,000 for a full rehab.
It's crazy. So what were some of your struggles then, in doing your first, because you cleared a lot of money. So
Absolutely.
You obviously had financial success, but what were some of your struggles along the way?
My struggles along the way was like scaling and like, getting out of that business. I was like an employee to my business. I was a madman. I was doing like two properties a month wholesale. I did 26 my first year, but like I didn't tell you that I was working my ass off. Like
I'll talk about that because people see this on Instagram like, man, I just got to get in wholesale and I can get these nice cars and nice watches.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the truth?
Well, the truth, well, you don't know how hard these guys are working.
Yeah.
And I mean, you didn't see their journey either. Like,
right.
I mean, 10 years ago, like, we're more in like social media is way bigger than 10 years ago. Like, I wish I documented my first deal.
Yeah.
Today, if I had my first deal, you'll see it on Instagram.
Right.
But, man, I was working, probably about putting banner signs out from midnight to 5 in the morning. I do 100 signs every Friday by myself. Wake up on Saturday and I have all these calls coming through my cell phone. I had the numbers coming through my cell phone.
Yeah.
I had the number on my phone number on the banner signs.
Right.
I would set my own appointments, go out to, I was doing 7 cities in Virginia. I would go 30 minutes out to like one city, and then I'd go to another appointment, like another 45 minutes to another city, just to say, no, my property, I'm not trying to give my property away.
Yeah.
So that was lesson learned. But I was still doing deals, but I didn't have any other life other than real estate. Even though like 7 days a week I was working basically. And I was kind of like on the seller's time.
Oh yeah.
Like if I saw a hot deal come in at 7 p.m., I'm driving 30 minutes to
dinner's done.
Oh no, like
put this down.
Hey, I'll see you later, Steve. Hey, I gotta go see this motivation. Potential motivation. That's how it was.
Absolutely, that's how it is when you start.
Yeah. So, that was my struggles. But I read after like my second year, I read 4-Hour Workweek.
Ah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like the end of 2010, start of 2011. That's when I got introduced to the 4-Hour Workweek.
And how did that help? Because I actually had this conversation a couple days ago with someone else that was like, man, that's a great book. I was like, is it really tactical? What I remember from it when I read it a long time ago, it was mostly theoretical. I mean, a couple of tips about VAs and stuff, but it was mostly theory.
Well,
so how did it help you?
It helped me far as the outsourcing thing. I didn't know Virginia. I didn't know virtual assistants existed. I didn't even know what that was until I read 4-Hour Workweek. My mindset was like, okay, I'm gonna get this 3,000 square feet office. I'm gonna get me a team of employees. I'm gonna oversee that company. That was my mindset.
Yeah.
Like I was like, my goal was like my 3rd or 4th year. Maybe I'll get to that. Maybe have like 5 or 10 employees and like kind of scaling, just grow it from that.
Yeah.
But when I read the 4-Hour Workweek, like basically like after my second year, I was like, damn, I don't need that. Like I can get a couple VAs. They can like alleviate me. I don't have to like answer my calls no more. They can make my appointments for me. So I started off with that. I started off with one full-time VA, which is still with me today, by the way.
Cool.
And she used to like basically, at the time I had an answer service set up, something simple, answer service, and then they'll basically pre-screen the lead, and she'll get that lead, and she'll call them, and if it was vetted, I taught her how to vet the leads, she'll make an appointment for me. So that saved time alone.
Right.
At the time, saved so much time for me.
Right. So you're not going to the people who are saying, I'm not giving my house away.
Absolutely.
I got a question here from Angel. He wants to know how old you are.
You said Angel?
Angel Ramos.
My son just graduated last Saturday.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that can't be right.
I wish I could show you my DMs, man.
Yeah.
Like, they was like, dude, like, how old are you, man? Like, but I'm 36, man.
Yeah.
I'm 36. I had my son in high school, senior in high school. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like just me. I was telling him, like I was telling my son last week, I was like, man, it's like you got a clean slate. I had you coming out of high school. Like you really have a clean slate. The day before his graduation, he closed a $3,000 deal, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's on YouTube, by the way. So
is it?
Yep.
So I got my business partner Max, and he also does the same thing. He had an early start. Mm-hmm. So his son, actually, our videographer. If you watch our stuff on Instagram, right? He just graduated high school, and he's younger than me. So I think my partner is 35, 36. And I was like, yeah. Yep. I mean, my kids are little, so I was like, how does that math add up?
It wasn't easy, Steve.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy at all, man.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't trade that for anything because it grounded me. Like a lot of my pretty much after high school, a lot of my friends were like partying or going to college. Mm-hmm. Like I instantly got a 12-hour truck driving job.
Yeah.
Like literally, like I graduated Saturday, Monday, boom, going to work.
That's the reality, right? But you were there and you were supportive. You were able to do it.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'm excited about is I get to meet the guy that's got the How to Wholesale Houses 1-on-1 video, because I am beating my head, like.
Which one is that one again? Is that on YouTube?
That's on YouTube. That's like, if you Google like wholesaling houses or wholesaling real estate, there's like you and there's Max Maxwell.
I didn't know that.
You guys are always battling for like top 3, top 5, whatever. And Max, I mean, he's kicking all our butts right now on YouTube.
Yeah, he's killing YouTube right now.
But your video is like always there. And I was like, who is this young guy, like teaching how to wholesale houses? So when someone was like, you got to put Antonio on the show, I was like, all right, let me see who this guy is.
Yep.
And I started following. I was like, man, this guy's legit.
Yeah.
So how is your operation different than, a lot of the other guys in this space? There's a lot of guys doing volume.
Absolutely.
Right, throughout the country. So, like, how is your business different?
Pretty much what my T-shirt says, I'm a cash flow guy. I used to be an active income guy. I'm still an active income guy. Mm-hmm. Active income, pretty much, you work for one check. Whether it's fix and flip, rehab, that's one check. Wholesale, that's one check. You still got to go find the next, throw the bait out there, find the next deal.
Sell the job.
I learned, especially in my 30s, I've been reverse engineering, like, my thought process. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's always that, hey, I can make a quick 20K, or I can make, get this 20% cash on cash return on this buy and hold here.
Yeah.
It's just slow. It seems slower, but it's not.
Yeah.
I was asking Elliot yesterday, and I was talking to a guy out there, and I was breaking down like the buy and hold strategy, and he was like, man, that's like slow money. I'm like, but it's wealth, bro.
Right.
That's the wealth.
How long you plan on being alive?
And he was thinking of the quick way, because he gets quick money. He makes great money, by the way.
Yeah.
Not in real estate, but he still makes great money. And he was just like, man, that seems slow. Like, know what I can do to da-da-da. I'm like, man, but like think of the tax advantages, which that's a whole other topic. And think about your wealth. Like, these stuff, you start building this up. You got cash flow to take care of your lifestyle, and you can just live your dreams without worrying about any wholesale deal, unless you just want to do a wholesale deal.
There was Haim was on the show, Haim Amon, a few weeks back, and he said, like, everyone thinks cash is king. It's like, no, it's not. Cash flow is king.
It's king. I love that. I love that. That's so true. That's so true.
And I learned, so I did a lot of foreclosure deals back during 2007, 2008, and I saw all the rich guys.
Yep.
Right, they're the ones able to kill it because they've got the money.
Yep.
Because they've got cash flow.
Got cash flow.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate enough, Steve, to have a brilliant market. Like, I buy 30, 40K houses or less, and I tell people that, and they're just like, what? And I get $800-900 a month off of 30, 40K houses. You do the numbers, it's just 20-30% return. Like,
it's ridiculous.
Like, literally, 2 Fridays ago, can't make this up. The one I said my son made $3K on is from this deal. I bought this property for $45K, did no work. I'm getting $11.50 a month.
What market is this?
This is in Virginia.
Really?
I promise you.
All the houses are expensive in Virginia.
No.
No?
I mean, I know I've been in the market for 10 years out there, man. I know that market. Yeah.
$1150.
1150. 45K purchase. Zero work. Like, I didn't even pick up a piece of land. Like, zero work.
And then your son wholesaled that to you. I'm guessing.
Well, okay. Would you want to segue a little bit on this strategy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, my buy and hold strategy. I'm not a landlord. I basically I acquired these properties. We call this the slow flip method.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how like a landlord, they'll go in, put the 10K whatever to make it rent ready,
Mm-hmm.
carpet paint, the cosmetic stuff. I buy this property just on acquisitions as is, and I'll sell it on a land contract. So that down payment is non-refundable from that occupant,
Mm-hmm.
right? And land contract is 30 years. They put down a
Agreement
down
for
payment.
sale.
Yep, a down payment. So for this 45K purchase, I brought this property. My son found a tenant buyer.
Mm-hmm.
They could 3K down. That was his 3K.
Yeah.
Right, and he's on a 30-year land contract with me, or agreement for sale.
Mm-hmm.
And he's paying me $1150 a month for 30 years.
Yeah.
Yep. If he actually, let's say if he just defaults on payments, I'm in the driver's seat.
Right.
Guess what I'll do? I
Start
still can evict him like a regular tenant. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have to do any foreclosure process. I evict him like a regular tenant, rinse and repeat. Get another non-refundable down payment.
Mm-hmm.
Get another $1,000, $1150, whatever a month. Even at $900 a month, it's still a great return.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So that's my buy and hold strategy, and I know a lot more, especially guys in my mastermind and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing this in virtual markets because some guys may be in Tampa, they can't do this in that market because it's insane, the competition. But
Yeah.
they might go buy in Michigan in virtual. And you can do this in virtual markets because you're not doing repairs. It's easier to manage.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So let's see, what else is it? So Tam wants to know, starting off, did you have any limiting beliefs when you got started?
Absolutely. Limited beliefs was the first deal. I mean, I was very doubtful of that before it happened.
Mm-hmm. Because you just read about it in books. It can't be real.
Yeah, I'm thinking you need to know the average mindset of somebody that's outside of real estate that don't know much about real estate. You're thinking of either real estate agents, you need a license,
Mm-hmm.
you need a whole bunch of money in your bank,
Yeah.
you need perfect credit. None of that is true.
Right.
Literally none of that is true. So after that first deal, I was like, man, I really could do this. So now my mindset was okay, how can I get to that first 100K?
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little doubtful of that because after that 12.5 check, it's 100K seemed just so far. But it's not.
It's not.
That's not a lot of money in the real estate game.
Yeah.
I mean, one deal for 30K. That's not far fetched either for a wholesale deal.
No, it's not far-fetched.
And I'm not trying to go over people's heads and overwhelm them, but that is not far fetched. Assignment deal 20K, 30K, 50K. I mean, the deals are out there. It's got a market.
It's not unusual at all. So one question someone asked was,
Mm-hmm.
I guess you have a strategy as far as buying from auctions. Is that right? So
Yeah.
can you talk about that a little bit? Because they want to know how can you buy from auction sites with the margin so tight?
Well, the margins are tight, but you just got to keep your finger on the pulse on these auction platforms. Auction.com, Zoom.com, XOME, Hubzu.com, Hudson and Marshall. Those are the four main platforms. A couple other ones, but those are the four main. But you got to constantly look up there every day, or I'll say 3 or 4 days out the week. I think in my market they do bids 3 or 4 days out the week, and you gotta know your maximum allowable offer, your MAO, before you bid on them. So what I'll do the week prior, I'll look at next week. I'll be like, okay, it's 20 properties I can bid on, right? And I may not get none of those properties. I may get 1 out of 20, but I do know, and this is another tip, the bank or the auctions are bidding against you. So when you see you might be at 50K, you might see it go from 50 to 55, and your max was at 50, and it stopped at 55. I know the auctions are bidding against me, and I know it's coming back on the following week or the next week.
Oh, really?
99% of the time, they're bidding against you because they're trying to get you in your emotions and get it to bid up, and now you're stuck. You're 40K over.
You're overpaying. Right.
So
it's like eBay.
So you just stay consistent. Stay consistent, and then you'll get one. I know when these properties are up there at least 30 days, they're ready to wiggle a little bit. The first 30 days, I know they're not. They're going to just It's just gonna keep betting against you for those first 30 days. But after 30 days, they're ready to wiggle.
So are you buying these to wholesale, buy and hold? What is your strategy when you're buying from auctions?
Yeah, so you can't assign these because it's a bank owned. The online auctions are already pre-foreclosed on. They're bank owned.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to wholesale, you got to close on it first. Do transactional funding, and basically sell it to your end buyer that same or next day.
Yeah.
So I do both. I do a hotel deal. Actually, I mean nowadays, I mean in this market that we're in, Steve, like this is a hot market. So I'll close on the deal, and I know I got buyers that I can call, but it's like new buyers coming into the game every day buying property. So I'll stick it on the MLS and just see what I get after I close on it, and like it's more than what I actually will probably sell it to my actual pocket guy, my pocket cash buyer.
Of course.
So that's what I've been doing with these auction properties.
Yeah.
On the flip side, I'll just keep some.
Yeah.
Like those 17, 20, 30K properties, I know I can rent it out for $700 to $900.
It's just crazy. That math is just, you can do that all day.
All day.
So someone posted, I can't remember who it was, about your music video.
Yep. So I got a music video coming out. I don't know if people saw the Bid Flip Profit music video. Have you seen that one?
I have not.
It was an online auction music video. I was teaching people how to flip online auctions in the music video.
Yeah.
So I got another one coming out, and it's basically like a wholesaling music video, teaching people how to flip houses, signing contracts, finding a cash buyer. But I can't wait to drop this thing, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brian Tripp. He's actually in that music video. One of the many guys.
I wonder if he's going to ask the question, because they deleted it. They posted the question, that they deleted it.
Oh, okay,
so I can't remember who it was. It might have been Brian.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So I try to do a little something different in the marketing, man. I mean, I don't think nobody in our real estate space is doing real estate marketing music videos that I know of.
Yeah, everything's predominantly Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Right, lots of gurus advertising YouTube. Right. Every time on my channel, there's always a freaking guru on my channel. Yep. I don't know what that's about.
Mine's too.
Okay, so then how much are you wholesaling? How much are you wholesaling? How much are you flipping of your business? And how much are you keeping? Like,
I don't do any more rehabs no more.
So no more flips.
It doesn't in my market. It just don't make sense.
Okay.
I mean, I'm averaging 10 to 12K on a wholesale deal, and rehabbers in my market are averaging about 25K on a rehab about 4 months time. To me, I mean, you break that down per month. That to me doesn't make sense, because I can find deals.
Yeah.
I don't like look forward to like looking at finding properties off the MLS. Like a lot of these buyers, they just be putting 50 offers a week on the MLS hoping they get one, and they're real buyers, but they don't know how to market.
Yeah. See,
with wholesaling, you have to be a great marketer, right? You got to be a good deal finder, and if you're a great deal finder, you're in the driver's seat. And I'm great at finding deals like that 45K deal, or I had literally a wholesaler sent me a deal today for $22,500. Guess what I'm gonna do with it?
Keep it, rent it out.
Keep it. I already have an occupant waiting for that $3K down, $875 a month. I'm doing no work.
So they're expected to even if it's like in terrible condition, because it's their house.
Yes.
They're gonna fix it up and do all the rehab work for you.
Absolutely. So I'm in the driver's seat. So if they default on payments 9 months later, obviously they put some work into it. I'm a victim like a regular tenant.
Yeah.
They increase the value of the property. They probably put their own little tenant in there or whatever, or maybe they're living in it. A lot of my occupants, they live in them.
Yeah.
And they kind of like do sweat equity, fix it up as they live in it type deal. And I'll have a property halfway fixed up or fully fixed up.
Yeah.
I had one property, right? This was in Hampton, Virginia. I paid $19K for this property. This was a sweet deal, man. I got this from auction.com, by the way. This guy gave me $7,500 non-refundable down. So basically, I'm only in it. 19 minus 7,500, what's that?
11.5.
11.5. I'm in it for 11.5. He was paying me $608.82 every month for 15 years. So 3 years later, which was beginning of last year, January 2018, he's like, "Hey, I want to buy you out." I'm like, "Oh, a perfectly good plan, just like screw." So that's the. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but with the land contracts, they have the option to buy out, because I sold it to him basically like $60K on a 15-year note. He put $7,500 down, so his balance was like what, $50,000 52.5.
Yep.
So basically, I just basically got a lump sum check at closing at like beginning of last year. So
that's not terrible.
I just bought 2 more houses.
Yeah.
like that. But I was liking that deal though, that 608.82 every month, and 11, and I was in it for 11.5.
Yeah.
And this was another beautiful thing, and why I was kind of like upset because he fully remodeled the property.
Yeah.
Like bling ring, like he blinged it out.
Yeah.
So the house was worth 130, 140.
So he made the smart move.
Yeah, so I was in it for 11.5, and I was like, man, like, if this guy default, I mean, I have a fully remodeled property.
Yeah, you're in really good shape.
Yeah, but he did his thing. He cashed me out, and I got a lump sum check.
So Kristen wants to know, is a land contract like a lease option?
No, it's different. The lease option, you have a lease involved with another separate document, an option to purchase contract involved. With this is like a land contract, which is basically like a deed in escrow, and they get the deed once they pay off the property in full, whether it's 15 years, 30 years. It's a form of owner financing. Right. Besides with the full-blown owner financing, they get the deed.
Yeah.
I don't like that way. I want to be in the driver's seat.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you can do it your way, that's way better.
Yeah.
So then Chidi wants to know, what's your success rate on appointments, I guess, in person versus over the phone?
That's a great question. I highly recommend. Somebody asked me this on an IG story today. It was something similar to that. But the success rate, like you mean before I go see the property?
Yeah, I guess this is probably closing, as I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Success
so
rate
this
closing.
is what we do. My lead manager. We will, if we're on if we just say like from a homeowner called us from a direct mail piece, right? And my lead manager be on the phone, and then she'll be doing like, her comps while she's talking to him, getting on the rest of the details of the property. Mm-hmm. We will give them, because we target free and clear property, so like most of our properties are free and clear when they call in, so we know they owe nothing on the property. So we would give them the super low ball offer, just to kind of like minimize their like standard a little bit. Yeah, like put them in the reality, and they'll be like, oh, that's way too low. And then we'll still set an appointment. It was like, well, don't hold us to it. Let us see it first. Mm-hmm. And then we'll go out to the property and we'll offer higher than that super low ball offer with my assistant said on the phone.
Yeah.
So it won't seem as bad. Mm-hmm. And our ratio, I mean, I would say out the like 10 to 15 appointments, we're getting a deal.
Okay.
Yeah, getting a deal. And I mean, a lot of the deals I like the slow flip, man, the buy and holds. Mm-hmm. Like I'll wholesale slow flips to other investors in my market because it's getting very popular. That term slow flip in my market right now, they're loving that.
Probably because of you.
Well, shout out to Scott Jelinek too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know him, but
I don't.
Yeah, he owns like 130 of these or 125 of these, and like literally no landlord. It's just sexy, man.
Yeah.
It's the sexy in the single family world. Like it's a sexy model.
Oh yeah, it's a great model. So Clifford wants to know, Clifford Cowboy Closer Walker, and I'm gonna point him out because he's a truck driver.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah, he wants to know, what was your first hire?
My first hire in my business.
Yeah.
My first hire was my virtual assistant beginning of 2011. Mm-hmm. And she was basically like, after the leads came in from the answering service, she'll call them, vet them, and if they, met the requirement, she'll make an appointment for me to go out at the time. And I was going out to all my appointments. So that was my first hire, a virtual assistant in the Philippines. Okay.
And then how did you go about finding her?
At the time, what was that? Right now, everybody's using like Upwork and all the others. It was a popular one. I don't see it around no more. But Odesk. Odesk is not around.
Well, Odesk and whatever merged and became Upwork.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so it was specifically Odesk at the time. So I found her from Odesk, and I was paying her like at the time $2.50 an hour. She's working 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday, occasionally on Saturdays.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Kylie wants to know how many deals you're closing a month right now.
Right now, I'm doing average about 4 or 5 deals a month. And my again, I'm going to reverse engineer method. I'm trying to do less wholesale deals. So the year 2020, unless a wholesale deal just falls on my lap, I'm just trying to do all buy and holds. Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, and everybody's market is not like this, so I don't make no promises. But the buy and hold slow flip method, I don't need any marketing strategies for that because wholesalers are bringing me these deals on a platter.
You're a buyer.
I'm a buyer.
They bring it to you.
And it's still not competition in my market where I could still buy these off the MLS at this type like 30K property, 40K property, because that same cash buyer is a landlord looking at like, damn, I got to put 15K repairs in it. I'm looking at like, damn, I just got to buy it on the purchase price on acquisitions, and I can just sell it on the land contract.
Yeah.
So 2020, I'm probably going to not put as much marketing on the wholesale deal side and focus more on my buy and holds.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers his question.
I think so. Let's see, what else is there? Okay, so one of the things you mentioned earlier is like the difference between you and a flipper is that you know how to market, you know how to find the deals.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about how are you finding deals?
Yeah, so this is different from 3, 4, 5 years ago. It's three marketing channels that I feel like are very solid and working right now. One is cold calling, which I highly recommend you guys cold calling. If you can, don't do it yourself. No, I mean, you'll be employee to your business. But if you have to do that, then do it. You know,
if you're getting started, you have to do it.
So cold calling, ringless voicemail, it's another solid one, and the online auction platforms. So like those are top 3 lead acquisition sources in today's market, and I think cold calling is probably winning right now.
Yeah. So when you're cold calling, your targeted market is in Virginia?
Yep.
Okay. Is that your only market?
Yeah, outside of my coaching clients, that's my personal market that I focus on.
Okay.
Yep.
And then, so you're cold calling this. What's your list? Like, who are you targeting for cold calling?
Yeah, that's a good question. I target empty nesters, people that own a house at least 30 plus years, free and clear. And our last list, we just did all free and clear, whether they're living in the property or absentee, and that we have 2 deals locking up today from that specific list.
Okay. Is there a specific list company that you like? Because I know, like for us out here, we use Property Radar. It's great for us.
Yeah, that's great.
But East Coast, not so much.
Yeah, I use Rebo Gateway, also known as Title Toolbox, which is the advanced side of Rebo Gateway. And you can go in and scrape your own list, and you can get real fancy and cool with it and stuff like that. So Rebo Gateway is a really, really good tool to get lists. You know, pre-foreclosures, bankruptcies. I wish my state had this, but a lot of you guys states and markets might have this, but tax defaults. I wish Virginia had tax defaults, so I could just scrape the tax defaults list like Florida or here in Arizona or Cali. Or
we got tax defaults, but it's not the pain. Foreclosure is more painful out here. Like,
really?
Tax deed states are great.
Yeah.
We're a tax lien state. So
Gotcha.
So it's not as painful here.
Yeah.
You got like 3 years to catch up.
3 years?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So we don't really go after, like we don't have a lot. We don't intentionally go after tax liens so much because it's not that much pain. You got 3 years to resolve it. Okay, so.
But let me say this real quick though, Steve.
Yeah.
You know, and you have a lot of people that great guests come on your show, and we all pretty much target the same list.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give you guys. This is not even a secret, but this is just a tip. It's not about the list. It's about your funnel and your follow up with that list, because we can tell you all the lists to go out and target and all that, but if you're not hitting them 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 times or falling with them 6 months later, 9 months, even 2 years later until they sell a house or, and the deals won't come as consistently. So that's where the consistency of those 5 deals a month, 20 deals a month, come in, is that funnel. What's your funnel behind that?
So let's talk about that. How do you get a newer person, right, to build out a good follow-up game?
Yeah, so for one, I will, if you can, at least start something with like a virtual assistant, because it's hard to do it yourself. I mean,
it's a lot of pieces.
It's a lot, and they're simple pieces,
right?
It's not a lot of technical pieces. It's a lot of micromanaging simple pieces.
Yeah,
and just to keep it basic, because I'm a basic guy, get a lead manager. First before you do that, put your marketing out there.
Yeah.
All right. So just say if you did some direct mail you sent out 1,000 letters. All right. Start small like that. 1,000 letters. Who are they gonna call? You got to think like that. You got to start kind of like planning the blueprint, your system. Who's gonna call? They're gonna call your cell phone, which please don't do that. If you're new, I would highly recommend something small as an answering service. When I first started. Right now, I have like 3 lead managers where they go to their designated phone, during hours, and then after hours it'll revert to the answering service, and then they retrieve that when they come back in the next business day. information. But you need a lead manager that's going to like pretty much track all your leads. I use Podio, a CRM, pretty much. And inside Podio, we have different like automations.
Right.
And, you know, like for an example, like something simple is just like a reminder. Like, so when we go into Podio, we'll see, okay, we need to follow up with 5 leads today, because in that reminder is, you know, from a month ago, we set the reminder for those 5 follow-ups today. And you'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, if I didn't have that reminder, if my lead manager didn't have that reminder, forget.
It just disappears.
You disappear.
Yeah.
I remember I used to write on a piece of paper, like 9 and 10, like my first 2 years, I was writing on paper. And that was just the worst system. Not that I had a system going. Like,
it is a system.
yeah, like 1900.
but man, you lose your papers.
Yeah, so Podio is a really, really good it's a really good CRM to use. And you know, we got it blown out. We put some money into it. But what I like about Podio, and I tell my coaching clients, is that you get the free one. And you still can get some really cool features in the free one. Yeah. You buy that pack. I forgot what the pack is for free or something. I think it's called the Real Estate Investing Pack, which is free. And you basically you get the Podio, update it with that pack inside Podio for free. And now you got all these apps. You know, your lead app, your cash buyer app. And apps are pretty much just different sections inside the Podio. And you build your cash buyer list in the cash buyer app. You know, your leads app is where all your seller leads will go at. Right. And you set your reminders and follow-ups, and you have these different triggers. Just say if it was on, you got the property in the contract, you push the offers, you know, trigger, and then it go to the push the offers app. Yeah. To create your contract via DocuSign, because we have DocuSign integrated with Podio, and it'll automatically email it to the seller. Right. We text. It's
one of my favorite features in.
Oh yeah, we text from Podio. Right. We text the sellers. That's a really good follow up, by the way. It is just because everybody checking their smartphones, man. You know, you got to go where it
is
checking them.
At least for now, people still check them.
Yeah.
And who knows how long that's gonna last with the way things are going.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
So TJ Harhan wants to know: did you have an attorney / title company on your team before you did your first deal? And how would you recommend go about finding one?
That's a great question, and it's pretty simple. I did have a closing attorney for my first deal. You don't need one; you just need a vetted title company that's in your market. But all you got to do is Google, just say Virginia for an example. That's my market. I'll just Google real estate title company, Virginia Beach, Virginia, right? And all these title companies start coming up, and I'll call them and I'll ask them two questions: do you honor assignment fees? And do you do double closings? I mean, if they don't know what that is, just run, because they're not investor savvy at all. Yeah. That's like 2 simple things, you know, because you can get real creative with title companies with wrap notes and all that stuff, you know.
Right, but
all
they can't answer those 2 questions.
Yeah, you can't answer those 2 basic questions. And no, I'm not going to do it. But it's simply, you just go to your RIA. I mean, it's not hard to find a title company, but if you don't know,
sponsored by a title company.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Ours is. So Clifford wants to know, where are your cold callers?
Where are my cold calls? They're in the Philippines. So I use 1,000 calls a day, and that's what we shoot for, 1,000 calls a day. Yeah. Per VA.
Yeah, I saw that ad. Who runs that one?
I forgot his last name. Shanahan.
Shanahan.
I can't remember his first name.
It's a slick ad. Like, whenever it pops up on my Facebook, it doesn't pop up that much. But it's like, man, that's a slick ad.
Yeah, so we're getting, I mean, we're probably hitting like 600 calls a day. Yeah. Per VA cold caller. And I mean, just imagine, like, if you were calling yourself, like, would you be able to call that many?
1,000?
Yeah. Like, or even like 200. As a business owner, imagine you just sitting there manually dialing. They use predictive dials, by the way. Right. But manually dialing your cell phone, making just 100 calls.
For me to hit 200, I was just like, give me like 3 weeks.
3 weeks. So I'd rather pay somebody to do that, right? And we averaging probably about, just from one cold caller, and we have a few of them, but one cold caller, we're getting about 10 leads, 7 to 10 leads a day.
Per day?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, just from the cold calling method.
Yeah.
So if you just got one of those, that's 7 to 10 leads. Well, you have to provide them your list. I already gave you the types of lists that you can use. And you provide them the list, and you skip trace that list.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, this basically just get the phone numbers to the records, you give them the list, and boom, they're gone.
Is there a favorite skip tracer that you like?
It's not a favorite one. I mean, I'll stay away from the little 5-cent skip tracings. I mean, they're not as accurate as something. Yeah, it's like 30 cents. I like Skip Genie. They're good. RER Rail has a nice skip tracing feature inside of it as well. But the ones like Data Finder and all that for 5 cents.
Yeah.
There's low hanging fruit, and it sounds great and it sounds cheap, but I found the hard way that the cheaper you pay for your skip tracing and your numbers is like it's not as accurate. You find that the numbers are like wrong.
Right. Oh, that's kind of like for me. There's a couple of times we bought some shirts from Kohl's.
Yeah.
Right.
I forgot about that store.
Yeah, I mean it is a lot more expensive to buy cheap stuff than it is to pay for good stuff.
100%. Just like cars too, and then in some ways.
Right. Are there any KPIs that you track for your business?
Absolutely. So I mean, we definitely tracking the daily leads. I'm tracking the CPLs, cars per lead, and we're tracking. That's the main. Like my main thing is like, okay, what is it costing me per lead?
Mm-hmm.
Now, right now it's like $150, which I mean, a $5K wholesale deal. I mean, you can't really compare. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Right.
So, and that's the beautiful thing about real estate. Our deals, our deals are so at a $5K deal, which is a small real estate deal,
Mm-hmm.
and I know it cost me $150, or even on a high side, just say $250 a lead. That's still high.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's a no-brainer. So I'm just gonna keep putting more marketing out.
Right.
We're averaging. I'm probably getting about like 40 leads a day. In the business, on a good day maybe 60, because we got different channels, and this is not even including wholesalers sending me deals. It's not even including the auction platforms. I'm just talking about the cold calling and the ringless voicemail. The ringless voicemail gives us maybe about 30 to 40 leads, but those are not as quality leads as a cold call or a direct mail.
Right.
But you get a lot of leads from that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're doing RVM, but
we do.
They're cheap leads too.
We've cut back on it. We've struggled with RVMs out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think having every guru in here in town, RVM a craft load doing 30,000 a day.
Yep.
Having multiple gurus doing it out here.
Yeah.
It's
You're not talking about 30,000. You're talking about 30,000 voicemails.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot.
So per guru.
Yeah. But some of these guys market. If you're watching this and you're like in a small market, and you know your market, if you're in a small market or not, you probably will crush RVM out there.
Oh, I hear some people having remarkable success with RVMs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, we don't do like a lot of deals. I say like every other month we have an RVM deal that closes, but they be home run deal like 20K or 25K.
Yeah.
We had one for 10K. I mean, it's not a home run deal, but I mean they're solid deals.
Well, for
and they're
the
cheap.
price point.
They're cheap.
Yeah. So we talked about, you post the properties on MLS now. Is there any other forms of disposition that you like?
Yes. Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is...
Oh, because you're doing the agreement for sale?
Yeah. That's where such a gold mine. Like, it's killing Craigslist. Facebook Marketplace is... If you're not using Facebook Marketplace to sell your properties, like, use that. It's free. It's a free channel.
So talk about that. Like, what would be a post you would put?
For the agreement for deed?
Yeah.
Okay, so for an example, we'll put $3K down, owner with finance, no banks needed, $79.9, which is that's the total price on an average property out there. Total price $79.9, $3K down, no banks needed. The pain point is the no banks needed.
Mm-hmm.
Owner will finance. Those two things, because a lot of people still have bad credit from the crash.
Right.
Or even like whatever, from 5 years ago, they got their home, whatever type of like discrepancy they got on their credit. A lot of people still got bad credit in today's market, but they have a dream of owning a home, but they don't know that this exists. There's tons of people like that, but they have $3K down. They have cash in the bank.
Do you pull their credit, or you don't even care?
Their credit check for me is showing me your job. That you got verification of job and that down payment.
Okay, so you show that you can afford the payments.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yep, and that down payment. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but if you don't have a job and you got a down payment, then I'm not going to do it. It's just too risky.
Are there any valuable resources that you think the listeners need to be aware of?
Resources as far as to implement in their business?
Tips and tricks you've heard along the way, like something that maybe not a lot of people know about. It's like, man, you guys got to start doing this.
Yeah. All right. So I would say, my first 3 years, if I can go back into time, I would do this. Like, especially my first 3 years. My first 6 months, I made my first 100K. If I'd known this, I would have did this. But every 5 properties that you wholesale, keep one for cash flow.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't wholesale your life. Where I know so many guys are just crushing it. Like, they're doing more deals than me on the wholesale tip, but they don't own one property.
Yeah.
Like, they're making, they're doing 20K. I mean, 20 deals, 30 deals, wholesale deals a month, and don't own one rental property. That's just nuts to me. That's just insane to me. Like, you gotta own some property. Like, he or she who owns the most land wins.
Right.
Wins the game. I'm not talking about like I'm competing with you, but I won. Yeah, yeah. Like, I won the Monopoly game. Like, I won. I can retire. Like, I spoke with some NFL athletes last year at the Pro Bowl. Mm-hmm. Right. They came. It was like 20 guys that came.
I saw that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. And one of the first icebreaker questions, I was like, how many of you guys in here own a home? Guess how many people raise their hand?
I hope half. Pro Bowlers?
0. Well, the ones that came, it was like 20 guys, like 17 to 20 guys. 0 of those guys in that specific room owned a home. They was all renting.
What?
I was like, how many people have a whole bunch of cash in their bank right now? I was like, I was just like, it just blew me away.
Yeah.
But how I kind of like pitched that, not pitched it, but like kind of like was like kind of like trying to put that together. I was like, the person, you guys can have $1 million liquid as an athlete in the bank, right? Mm-hmm. No assets, no rent, just no assets, but $1 million liquid in your savings account, and you, Steve, can have $25,000 passive income coming from your rental properties coming every month. You're so well off than them. Mm-hmm. With your $25K coming in every month, and whether you sleep, shit, here, doing a podcast, doing anything, you still got them checks coming in. Mm-hmm. That $1 million in there is dwindling every day. They got to go to 7-Eleven, put some gas in your tank, or get a Slurpee. Yeah, that's $5 less. They go to the mall, buy some Jordans for $200. That's dwindling. There's no passive income coming to that to add on to that.
Yeah.
So the person, I mean, and $25K is not a lot of money in the past. I mean, that's it's great money, but it's very achievable.
Yeah.
You can live a great lifestyle off $25K passive.
Yeah, a lot of people would kill for that.
Yeah, a lot of people kill for that.
Yeah.
Let's say $10K a month passive. So going back, every fifth wholesale deal, keep one.
Yeah.
The name of the game really is wholesaling is to build your capital so you can buy cash flowing assets. Yeah. A lot of guys be forgetting that.
Wholesaling.
That's the name of the game.
It's a really high paying job.
That's all it is. Mm-hmm. Literally, that's all it is. And it's a high taxing job. High tax job
and pretty stressful too.
Yeah. So keep one. You'll thank me later. And on the tax advantages, I'm not. This is a whole topic another day. But cost segregation changed the game for buying whole people. As far as on your tax write off, it's that. Basically, put it this way: the more property you own, you either break even or pay little on taxes because of these accumulated assets that you own, based off cost segregation. Wholesaling, you're just going to get taxed in the 30%,
yeah.
35%.
If you're good.
Yeah, if you're good.
Yeah.
So you make
30% if you're good.
If you make $10K today off a wholesale deal,
Uncle Sam gets $3,800.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. He has to eat too.
Huh?
Uncle Sam's got to eat too.
Yeah, he got to eat too. But check this out. I'm just gonna just a little slight of advanced strategies, not a whole bunch of advanced. So I'll buy. So with that property today, 22.5, I'm gonna buy. So I already got a guy for occupant ready. Whenever I close next Wednesday, $3K down, $875 a month, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna buy that property for 22.5. I'm borrowing $30K from my private lender, right? I'm paying her $300 a month.
Yeah.
Right. That $875, he's responsible for the taxes and insurance, by the way.
Right.
So I'm paying her $300 a month. I'm borrowing $30K, but guess what? That $7,500 is tax free, baby.
Yeah.
It's tax free. That's my wholesale deal.
Right.
That's my wholesale deal. That's tax free. They can't tax me off borrowed money. Like the government can't tax you off borrowed money. That's borrowed money.
Yeah.
I could wholesale that. Check this out. 22.5, I can go assign that or wholesale that to a cash buyer for $30K. The same 7,500, that's coming that 30 what 35%. That's getting taxed.
Oh yeah,
that's active income. That's a transaction. That same, I'm just flipping it. I'm borrowing $30K, getting the same 7,500. Which in my mind, it's like that's a wholesale deal.
Right.
That's tax free.
It's tax free.
It's just a small loophole.
It's crazy.
And I own a home, and I'm getting cash flow.
That makes a big difference at the end of the year.
Huge difference.
Yeah, we have to start doing that.
Yeah.
What is your why?
My why is my family. My son, my daughter, my beautiful lady Marissa. Because I don't have to get up every morning and bust my ass. But when I see my daughter and I just and my son, he's basically grown now. Like I just want the best for them, man. Yeah. Like that just entices me to get up and just do more and want more. And I'm competitive with myself anyway. Like I reach a goal and I'm like, man, I did that. Let me try to reach another goal. Yeah. You know. So that's mainly my why is my family. I mean, that's simple and plain. You know, we follow each other on social media, man. Like I'm a family man. Like I'm not a heavy partier or nothing like that. Maybe that's why the secret why I look so young. I don't know.
Those days are over.
Yeah, they're over. So right now it's like accumulating wealth for that legacy, man.
Yeah. So cash flow. I don't. Hopefully you don't mind me asking this question.
Yeah.
Like how many properties do you have now in your portfolio?
Yep. So right now I have 20 properties.
And then where do you want to be? To be like, okay, my goal is, or what is your goal?
My goal is to get, for what I need, I want to get $100K a month passive off these properties, and I need to accumulate about 150 of these. Okay. Single families. If I go multifamily, it's a different story. But I like this single family model. I wish I can pick up 50 of these today. Yeah. This same model is such a sexy thing. So
then, is it a challenge to find these?
No. I mean, you could find like one here, one here, one here.
Yeah.
But as a package,
yeah,
that's what I would like, and I'm ready for that. Like I'm ready for that. So, in the end of the year, I'm gonna have 40 of these. Okay. Next year, my goal is to buy 50.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
See what else. Isaiah Lee wants to know, how do you remain compliant with Dodd-Frank?
Compliant with Dodd-Frank? It is a great question. So what I do is I still write these properties off, right? But being that the property is in my name, right? The deed is still in my name. It still shows my company name. So I stay away from the Dodd-Frank Act from that. Being that I'm not owner financing them that property and it's getting deeded over to their name.
Right, because it's still in your name.
Yeah.
Because it's agreements for sale versus seller carries.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Another reason to do agreement for sale.
But if you're scared of that and you're like, okay, I don't want to do that, then simply do a lease option. Then you don't got to worry about the Dodd-Frank Act.
Gotcha.
But now you're in the Landlord-Tenant Act. That's a whole. Now you're dealing with that, because if you go into court for an eviction, they're like, well, I'm a tenant and he's supposed to be doing repairs.
Yeah. There was a guy in town that's getting sued for RICO because
what's that?
RICO is like racketeering, right? That's what they use
against the mafia. Racketeering. Okay, yeah, I know the short word.
Because he's got 100 properties, like he's basically got it's corruption, and it's like, and it's not, but because he's got 100 properties, they're like, well, we can bring some additional fancy.
Come on, man.
So that's the stuff that's kind of scary, right? Being a landlord, but your way, you're not the landlord.
No, not at all.
What's your biggest struggle right now?
My biggest struggle right now is finding a package of these properties. Like I want to find a pack, like, that 25K. I mean, not 25K, a 25 property package, 50K package. I want to buy them as packages, like this in this price range. Which I don't know if that's a dream. Maybe that's a story I'm telling myself. Maybe it's possible.
You put it out there, it'll happen.
Right.
What's your superpower?
My superpower is outsourcing, man, and helping others. Like I found that like people that can relate to me and whatnot, or just come across me, like they from everybody that tells me they love my energy, and I give good vibes from what people tell me, and I just change people's lives, and I get a thrive off that, and outsourcing, like it just gives me so much more time.
Yeah,
I'm a really good outsourcer, Steve. Like when I say a good outsourcer, like I may be the king of outsourcing.
So you're good at delegating.
I'm super good at delegating.
Are you good at verifying?
Yes, I am, but I suck at micromanaging.
Yeah.
I suck at that. Like I'm not good at micromanaging. So I have somebody that micromanages.
Yeah.
You gotta know your weak spots. If you know your weak spots, then you're aware, you're woke.
Right.
And then you just find somebody in your business that can take care of your weak spots. Because even for example, micromanaging, that still has to get done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to do it though.
Right. No, you don't have to do it.
But I'm aware that I suck at that, and I get it.
Well, that's the reason why I asked this question, right? Because I'm really good at delegating. So I'm the oldest of 6 boys. Super good at delegating, right?
Yeah.
Hey, mom and dad wants to go do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Mom said she wants this place clean before she gets back. And she said it to me, and then I just delegated. So I'm really good at delegating. However, I'm not good at verifying, right? Inspecting what you expect, really bad at that. Wow. So that's why I asked that. So I have other people in place. So I've fired people over time just because it wasn't getting done.
Right.
But I wasn't going there and checking. It was just like, oh, that wasn't getting done.
Yeah. Keeping your finger on the pulse, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing in your business that somebody needs to really. I have a manager. I call her the manager lead assistant. Mm-hmm. She does the verifying. And she be on me like, Antonio, hey, what about this? And okay. And then she'll hit me up again. Antonio, what about this? And I'm like, oh, okay, thanks, Stacy. And she'll do that with my acquisition guys.
Yeah.
She's like the verifier in the company. I'm actually pretty good at that, but I don't know if I got lazy because I know she's I could tell she likes that. So I kind of fall back a little bit, and I know she's really good at that.
If it doesn't energize you, delegate it.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you think about what you want to have for last message, guys. If you guys have been following stuff I've been posting out there, a lot of you guys have been asking for help with your business. So if you guys are thinking about or want to get your business doing 5 deals a month, go to disruptors.com to fill out the application. Next week is 4th of July, so we're not doing a show. And the week after that, we got Jesse Burrell. He's out here partnered up with Evo. They're involved with batch skip tracing, and they're doing somewhere between 10 to 15 deals a month in Phoenix. So he's going to talk about his journey and how he's doing that. Before we go to your last thought, someone wants to get a hold of you. How do they do that?
Absolutely. You can follow me on IG, Antonio _ Edwards. Just go to YouTube. Just search Antonio Edwards Real Estate. I'm pretty sure I'll pop up. Subscribe to my channel. And if you want a free copy of my book, just go to AntonioEdwards.com. I give you all the tips and tricks from A through Z, how my business is structured in a more detailed note. And so I look forward to, DM me on IG, because I'm on IG more than anything. That's the number one platform right now, I think,
got that
right?
same problem.
Yeah.
It's an addiction.
It is. So if DM me on IG, let me know that you was on the Real Estate Disruptors podcast watching this, and I'll hit you back. So.
All right, cool. So last thoughts that you want to leave the listeners with.
Are most of the listeners trying to get their first deal, or
most of the listeners they're a mix of trying to get their first deal or they're getting started.
Okay.
Most of them.
If you're watching this, I come from nothing, literally nothing. When I say that, all it takes is consistency in this game. That's all it takes. When I say the most important part in this business, and even in personal life too, is what are you doing in those hardship times? I remember for my first deal, it was hardship times. But if I stay consistent within that hardship, most people get knocked down and just give up. But if you stay consistent, then that's when you're gonna start, seeing your fruits of your labor, and you start doing deals. And another thing too, it's easy to start making money in this wholesaling or just in the real estate investing business. Please put back 30 to 35, if not 40% or more, back into your business. And it's a tax write-off, by the way. You're marketing for your business. Put that back into your business, because all it's doing is going to just create more and more deals to make more money. I see a lot of people, they come in, mainly the newer guys, people that have been in the game for a minute. We're here for a minute for a reason.
Right.
But the ones starting out, they'll get, just say they make their first $50K, in their bank or something, and they just start getting lazy.
Mm-hmm. Comfortable.
Super comfortable. You got to go harder than. Now, how did you get to that $50K? Go harder.
Right. Do the same things you were doing when you were struggling.
Right. So just stay consistent. I can't stress that enough. Stay consistent and market. I can't stress that enough as well. You got to market for deals. When we say without cash or credit, that means that we're not taking title to these properties, and we're not, going to a bank to try to get financing for these properties and use our credit, that's when we're talking about cash or credit. But it takes some cash to market.
Oh, yeah.
You got to put the marketing dollars up.
Yeah, you can buy a house with no money down.
Right.
But you still need money
to
find those houses.
Absolutely. Whether, I'm not saying I recommend this, but if you got a credit card and you don't have a lot of savings, and I would do it if I go back 10 years, if I had to say $5,000 on my credit card, I would put $1,000 marking, $1,500 marking. I'm a risky guy though. I'm a risky guy.
I'm with you. You got to bet on yourself.
You got to bet on yourself.
If you're not going to bet on yourself, who's going to bet on you?
100%. 100%. So the wholesaler who gets the most leads, you can have very little or no experience. If you get leads coming in daily, a deal's going to stumble on your lap.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're just, you put, 10 bandit signs out and put one offer in 1 month, I mean, that's the issue.
You're the turnover that we talk about.
Yeah. So just stay consistent in the market for deals and leads.
And that's a great message.
Yep.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Steve.
Awesome.
It's a pleasure, man.